If you'd like to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button to stay on top of the market news. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak at CMtrading. Today's November 2nd, 2020, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the market's consolidating right before the elections. But before we get into the elections, let's first look at the economic events of the day. Just one event coming out of the United States at 5 o'clock South African time, ISM manufacturing PMI number coming out. Now, again, although it's election day tomorrow, Friday, we do have non-farm payroll for the month of October. So just realize that it's going to be a massive week. So looking at the markets right before the elections, the US dollar continues to strengthen while we're looking at the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq both bounce on Friday. Looking at commodities, gold on the bottom range while oil breaks lower. And lastly, looking at the stocks, the FANG stocks are having a hard time gaining momentum after corporate earnings last week. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So looking at today's trading, I'm going to start out with the Euro USD. First, I want to make a note, okay? It could be one or two things happen. Either things will be very low on live volume just because people are not knowing which way the market's going to go after a Biden win or a Trump win, whatever happens from the elections and the results of the election. So either we'll have very light volume and not much activity going into tomorrow, or we may have a little bit of a rally. And the reason I say that is because the markets have sold off over the last couple of days. Now we're looking at the Euro USD, and I want to highlight this because I think it's really important. We sold off down to this 1641-ish level. You could see we're right there on a daily chart. So with that said, I would expect this to actually bounce off of these levels. Okay, it does look like it's consolidating. Okay, so something to consider if this does happen. Looking at the Aussie USD, the same story. We're all really right there. Okay, so you're going to have to look for one of these particular Forex symbols to actually break the dollar. Okay, either lower, the dollar getting stronger, and then the rest will follow suit. Or we're going to have a little bit of a bounce later today, and the rest will follow suit as well. So, it's something to really pay attention to because we are at that bottom of the range right before the number, right before the results of the election. So something to consider. People are trading on defensive, okay? No one knows what to expect from the elections. In 2016, it was scheduled that Hillary Clinton would beat Donald Trump. The poll said that she was in double digits ahead of him, and sure enough, he actually took the presidency. So no one really knows what to expect out of this presidency, but do expect the unexpected because I think that will give you a defensive, offensive kind of perspective on how to trade these markets. Now, jumping into gold, we're trading at 1884 right now. We're at that bottom of the range after we sold off last week from 1909. It's been choppy here. Okay, we've been in this kind of range since the beginning of September after we sold off, after that massive rally that we have into the 2000 area. Okay, so we're trading at 1884 right now, right in between our areas. So nothing really to write home about. Looking at oil, though, we're trading at $34 and it continues to break down as the Northern Hemisphere goes into lockdown. The UK is going into lockdown. Germany is going into lockdown. Okay, so we're seeing a pattern in the Northern Hemisphere where major markets are going into lockdown. So, as that is happening, the markets are kind of taking a step back and saying, hey, listen, if we're going into a lockdown, that means there's less transportation. People are not transporting themselves to work, to school, to etc. And as a result, that's going to have some impact and pressure on the price of oil. And we're seeing that clearly. Now, jumping into the Dow Jones, okay, we're trading here at 26,383-ish level as we've bounced, quote unquote, from our low of 26,000. Now, we've already sold off about 1,800 points from our high of at the beginning of September. And what I do want to highlight here is that we are at a supportish level. If we look at a daily chart, you could see we've hit this level twice already. 26,000 is a very important level. So this may be a very interesting point that we actually rally into tomorrow. And that is why I am saying this. Okay, so that may give us an opportunity to rally into tomorrow. Looking at the Nasdaq, same story. If we look at a daily chart, we are at that bottom of the range at 11,000. Now we did hit a high of 12,400-ish level, but that's really being impacted by the fact that the FANG stocks, the high-tech stocks, have gotten beaten up. Now, if we look at the individual stocks, if we look at Apple, it's down at 106, down from its 132 high. Okay, so it's already down about 26 points. If we look at Facebook, also took a nosedive Friday after it came out with earnings and trading at 261. Now, it's not gotten beaten up as bad as Apple, but you see the effects of it. Microsoft also still above the $200 range. That's very important to note because there's some light at the end of the tunnel. There may be some rallying here into tomorrow's trading day. Now, looking at Amazon, also just above that $3,000 range. Okay, so again, you want to be defensive, but you want to be offensive. The sentiment is that we're going to actually rally into the market tomorrow. Okay, so just be aware of that. That's generally what happens on election days, but we'll cover much more as minute to minute happens today on Facebook Live, and then also tomorrow on Facebook Live. Also, we'll have some updates. This is Fred Razak, and I wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.